YouTube, how's it going? Frogs Angels back with some more NFL content for the 2018 season. We've been doing our reaction slash review videos from the top 100 show on NFL Network each week. And just yesterday, they revealed 50 through 41. And pretty similar to last week, if you guys watched my reaction video from last week, I'm not too happy with the rankings, the lists. I'm kind of giving up on the list. I'm not giving up on these videos. I'm going to keep doing these videos, but I'm kind of I know what to expect now from this list. I'm not a big fan of it. I see people on Twitter also not really agreeing with it, but I guess it's still interesting to watch. So let's break down this week's lists. At number 50, Deshaun Watson. A little surprised that he was this high. I don't really have a big problem with it because we saw how much of a factor he was when the Texans had him. They were a legit team. They were a winning team. And then they ended up with the fourth worst record, I believe, in the NFL without him. So we see how important he is to the team. We see the potential he has. Just being a rookie last year, hopefully he's okay after that freakish random knee injury. So I don't have a big problem with that with 50 because we saw how important he is to the team. But I was a little surprised. I didn't think after we started getting going, I didn't think he was going to be on the list. I would put him on the list if I made it, but again, not a big problem with the ranking. I just a little surprised. On to 49. It was Darius Slay, the corner from the Lions. I like Darius Slay a lot. I like the number 49 next to him, next to his name. So no problem with that. It's just maybe there's like about two corners last week's reveal that I think I would put ahead of Darius Slay. So if you look at it that way, then maybe too high. But I do like Darius Slay a lot. I thought he's been underrated at times. So you see last year not ranked at all. This year 49. So I don't think he's underrated anymore. Based off this list, maybe around the league a little more from other fans' perspectives, maybe he's still a little underrated. But I think this is his range. But would he be ahead of some of the corners that were on the show previously? That's another debate, really. We'll get into that once we do our position rankings. I keep mentioning those. We'll get to those eventually. We're getting there. We want to have you guys involved in those too. So if you remember, we did our fan voted mock draft. We'll do something along this, something similar for you guys. You guys get to vote on who the best quarterback is, running back is, in your opinion. We'll do it a little different though. So follow our Twitter. Link is in the description. Frogs_Angels. We'll do a poll on there eventually. We'll have exact links in future videos, but to the poll. But keep a lookout for that on our Twitter, Frogs_Angels. Link is in the description. But on to the rest of this list. 48 was Cameron Heyward. I like Cameron Heyward a lot. I'm okay with this ranking. If I had to change something, maybe he would be a little higher. He's such a dominant player. The best player on that Steelers defense, perhaps. So, but I'm okay with 48. I'm okay with 48. But if I had to say, he could be better ranked. But I'm okay with 48 for Cameron Heyward. Again, dominant player for the Steelers defense. 47, another Steelers player, Ryan SHAZIER. Now, this is where, every single week we discuss I'm not sure if it's based off last year, if it's based off this year. Is it a mixture somehow? I don't know how that would make sense, but I never really know because one guy being on there tells me this way, one guy another way. Now, this tells me, even though it says 2018 rank on every single one of these, this tells me it's last year because unfortunately, SHAZIER's not going to play this year. That's a fact. So this is based off last year. Then I'm okay with the 47 rank. But some of these other guys being based off last year is just ridiculous. Some guys didn't even play and they're on this list. So the list, I say it every week, but it makes no sense really. And it's a little annoying, I guess, but still interesting. On to 46, Harrison Smith, the safety from the Minnesota Vikings. Last year ranked 74, this year 46, so that's a good jump, but I would rank him much higher than this. I was surprised that he was 46. He should be much better ranked, especially as based off last year. He was clearly the best safety in football last year, maybe the best defensive player in football. Pro Football Focus had him the best player in football. So that's another debate, but 46 is interesting. You always see players rave about Harrison Smith. Maybe this past year, maybe that's the most I've seen a player talked about from other players was Harrison Smith, and this is supposed to be voted by players. So, what players are voting? Is it actually players voting? So, I mean, I would rank him much higher, but I guess the way this list is going, not that big of a deal at this point, but we'll keep going on. 45, Davante Adams, receiver from the Packers. I like Davante Adams a lot. He was definitely a factor when he was healthy in the game. I think 45 might be a little high for him, though. I don't know if I would put him quite that high. Some receivers he was ahead of. I don't know if he's better than. I mean, it's pretty close, I guess. Talk about Michael Thomas. Talk about Stephon Diggs. Any more Jarvis Landry. Is he better than those guys? That's the question. I'd say those guys may be a little better, but it's close enough where it's not that big of a deal. But 45 is a little high. And there's some people that say Rodgers needs some more help these days. He was hurt most last year, but he's doing it all himself. And then all of a sudden we got Davante Adams ranked 45. So which one is it? And he's going to get more action this year, so I expect him to be better this year with Jordy Nelson gone. So hopefully he can stay out of concussion protocol. I don't think that's something that's going to keep happening. I think it was just an unfortunate year in that category for him. But in terms of play, he was very good in the red zone. Obviously, it seems like he's getting more and more in shape, more and more athletic, stronger, faster. So he's an impressive player to watch going forward. So I do like him a lot. Just maybe a little high on him at 45, but no big deal. Some of these other rankings are a lot more confusing. On to 44, David DeCastro, lineman from the Steelers. So that was three Steelers players in this week. And I really don't have a problem based on any of these Steelers rankings. It's just the SHAZIER thing. Is it based on last year, this year? Because if it's this year, he shouldn't be on the list. I know it sucks, but that's just how it is. So I really don't. I'm not really getting it. I'm still not getting it, but oh well. David DeCastro, I'm fine with him. 44. I think they're 97 to 44. Did they have that great of a year to jump that much? I don't know about that, but I'm okay with 44. Maybe there's some linemen that were behind him that I think are better, but also some of those linemen did have their injuries this past year. So other debates that maybe I'm bringing up that don't belong here, but overall I'm okay with it. A little surprised by the jump from 97 to 44 though. Was there that much done to do that? 43, Mark Ingram, the running back from the Saints, not ranked last year to 43 this year. I don't know about that jump either. Obviously, a good running back, big part of that Saints offense. I thought Alvin Kamara was the much better player in that offense and is going forward. So whether it's last year or this year, I think Alvin Kamara still could be on this list here going forward, and I'm okay with that, him being ranked higher. But Mark Ingram, 43, maybe a little high for me. Maybe he does belong on the list, but I think at 43 is pretty high. I know he was a factor of one of the best offenses in football, but it's a little high. There's much better running backs than Mark Ingram, I think. But not to knock him, he's definitely a factor. He's definitely, it's kind of weird to say, but as soon as they got Adrian Peterson out of there, maybe the best running back in NFL history, they did better with Ingram and Kamara, it's very weird to say, but I guess that's what happened there. And then the 1-2 punch of Ingram and Kamara was very impressive. They're going to be without Ingram the first 4 weeks, so we'll see if that's going to hurt them. I think it's going to help Kamara fantasy owners because I think he's going to be ridiculous, but we will see. 2 more guys left to talk about. We're on to 42 on this list. 42 is Earl Thomas, safety from the Seahawks. Definitely one of the best safeties in football. Last year, 30, now 42. Don't really have a big problem with that. I have a problem with him being ahead of Harrison Smith. But other than that, really no big deal. Is he going to continue to play at a high level? The last few years, maybe due to some injuries here and there, maybe from him not wanting to be there, it seems. He hasn't really played as high level as he could or has in the past. So does it stay about the same? Does it decline? Does he go back to the older Earl Thomas because he still has it in him and he's still a good age where he can play like a top 30 player? But there's a lot of questions surrounding that. But again, I think we had 2 safeties on this list, and I think they were flip-flopped here. Clearly, you take any... I know there's a lot of people on Twitter that were complaining about that as well. You can take any category, any stat of this past year, and Harrison Smith had him beat. So I thought Harrison Smith should easily be ahead of Earl Thomas. But, we're talking Earl Thomas at 42. I don't really have a problem with that number next to his name. On to the last guy of this list is 41. It's Keenan Allen, the wide receiver from the Chargers. It's so great to see him finish a whole season and stay healthy. We've been waiting to see that, and he was so dominant at the end of the year. So I'm good with 41. It's just he's got to continue to stay healthy, which I think he can. We just saw how dominant he was, how much of a factor he was just as the season went on. Just every part of the game you ask for a receiver, I think he's got it. I really think he's got it. So I'm good at 41. You see last year not ranked. That's due to injuries from the past, though. Really, I think they're combining years, and that may be what we think going forward, I think, because we've seen guys that were injured in the past but were still ranked, and he's had multiple injuries in the past, injured seasons in the past, and he was not ranked last year. So I see this, I'm starting to think they're combining years, which really doesn't make sense. I don't know, but it's still interesting. I like Keenan Allen at 41. I look forward to seeing him stay healthy for another year, being a factor in fantasy, be a factor for the Chargers. And I think they could possibly be a playoff team if they stay healthy, and they should easily be a playoff team if they stay healthy and they don't blow it in the beginning of the year like we see them do. But I think we'll see some changes. We'll see. But that is the top 100 recap list for this week. We'll keep going on each week. We got plenty more videos to come, plenty of rankings. We want to get you guys involved, like I said, so follow our Twitter, frogs_angels. We'll be doing some polls on there. So I'll be doing top 10s of each position, and we'll get your guys' input on some of that as well and reveal it in those videos and discuss. So we got plenty planned for you guys, plenty planned. Thanks for everyone's support. Please like, subscribe if you haven't already. Our goal is 10K subscribers, so help us get there. Appreciate it. That'll do it. Goodbye.